So they would be 7:30 now.
Oh wow, we're live.
Good morning, everybody. 6 a.m. on the 18th of March. Welcome to the Mighty Morning.
Mighty Morning Meetup. Mighty Morning.
Let us know where you're watching from. I'm in Central Florida. Dr. Kiltz is up in New York.
Syracuse, New York, Skaneateles, New York. I'm supposed to be going to the West Coast tomorrow to go to Palm Springs. I'm working on it.
Yay.
And Roxana, it's in Eastern Canada, time zone over into the Atlantic. And Alia, well, she's in...
I'm in Central Time right now.
Nice.
Happy I get to be on Central. I just wait
5
for November
a.m.
to show up. Yeah. I want to say we have some amazing coaches doing some amazing work, and I would really want to impinge how important it is that everyone just have a call with them. They are so good. I was talking to some of the clients yesterday, and they're so happy with these calls that they're getting. So there you go.
We all can use someone to talk to. And the Kiltz Health coaches are not, it's about mindset. It's about mastery, and whether it's keto or carnivore, fasting, faith. What else is in there, Dr. Nelson?
Well, we talk about science. We talk about coaching skills. In the course, we even talk a little bit about the legal ramifications and marketing.
And here's one of our coaches. Good morning, Leon. There you go.
Roxana, how you doing today?
I'm tired. No, I just came back from COSI, and that's like way over on the other side.
In Vegas.
Yeah, but it was so much fun. It was a really good event. I have to say that it was a really, really good event.
Do you have any other announcements, Alia?
I don't, except I just want to say Jennifer Edwards, email me and I will get you the information on how to be a coach. There you go.
And isn't it on? They can also go to Kiltz Mighty Tribe and Kiltz Health. There's a button probably right at the top. I want to be a coach. And if we get everyone in the world, the coaches like that, everyone controls the universe.
Yes, masters of
the
universe.
Love it.
There you go.
The next month we'll be screening the cholesterol code film. Did you have a chance to screen the cholesterol code by any chance, Roxana?
I didn't screen it. Like, the area where I live is very slim populated.
Well,
but I did see the
he didn't show anything on the conference?
No, they did. And I went there to the premiere with all these amazing people that were featured in the movie. And Dr. Berry was there. Dr. Sean Baker was there. That was pretty great.
All right. So KiltzMeetup.com, you can find all this information. April 6th, cholesterol screening. April 11th with Christopher Brandling. Dr. Kiltz and I will be at both of those. Next day, April 12th, Queens, New York meetup. And then cholesterol screening in Orlando on April 22nd. And let me read a little bit of an introduction here. Roxana and I had the pleasure of meeting at the Symposium of Metabolic Health in Boca recently. And her journey is incredible. She went from 350 pounds and being insulin dependent, completely reversing her type 2 diabetes and her non-alcoholic fatty liver disease through basically a carnivore diet. She's a fellow metabolic health practitioner and a nutrition network practitioner, and she's got all kinds of titles.
What's the label for the Kiltz Mighty Tribe coaching?
Kiltz Health Certified Coach.
That I will be adding soon.
See,
excellent.
I gotta write that down. All right. Cool.
If you have a chance, Alia, bring up the logo.
Yes.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I
All right.
will. Let me get that going.
Roxana, go ahead, introduce yourself. Give us a little bit of your story and your background, who you are, and all that. And if you have any questions for Roxana, put them in the chat, please.
Yes, so I started in my mid-20s with inflammatory arthritis, and all of a sudden, my life changed. From being really active, athletic, and everything, I couldn't walk, I couldn't move, and I started gaining weight. Actually, before I got married, I gained like 30, 40 pounds within a very short amount of time. And then I had to listen to the doctors, of course. So they said, "Oh, you have rheumatoid arthritis, so you don't want to eat animal foods. You don't want to eat saturated fat. You want to eat plant-based fats because they don't fuel the inflammation like the animal fats do." And that totally made sense to me because everyone said so. And I was put on strong medications because I wanted children. So I was on cortisone for about 10 years, and I started gaining weight. And I gained it so quickly that I wasn't used to my frame. So when I walked somewhere, I would bump into things because I was like wider than I thought, and I was. And then I had my children, and then they put me on Imuran, which is a strong drug. They put me on a high initial dose, 300 milligram, and they kind of forgot to taper me to a maintenance dose. Oops, you could say. So I stayed on 300 milligrams a day for also a very long time. And that's the dose that they would give to people with kidney transplants. So it was a very strong dose. It did do the trick. It did keep my inflammation in check, but it also did a number on my liver. So it wasn't not only fatty liver, it was actually non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. It was one step short of cirrhosis. There was fibrosis, and I was doing really poorly. And then it all culminated into, developing type 2 diabetes, being insulin dependent. My A1C went up to 8.5. I began having thyroid issues. My thyroid actually is pretty much non-functioning at all right now. And I was just getting sicker and sicker. And then one week I had high glucose readings in the high 400s. And I was so dazed and I felt so sick. And I knew, I had this like epiphany, if I don't change something now, I'm going to be dead in 3 years. So that was 6 years ago. And I don't know if I would have died. So I don't know. There was a lot of things that happened before that too. And I said, no, I'm going to do something. And my son's type 1 diabetic, he has insulin. And I went into his room in the middle of the night and said, give me some of your Humalog I need and the syringe. And then in my weary head, like being really, really high on glucose for a week straight, I calculated the dose, I injected, and I was already on long-acting insulin, but not on short-acting insulin. And then I thought, oh no, like what if I calculate this dose wrong? And I know how it's very easy to take too much insulin, and that's very, very dangerous. So I called a friend in Germany who was on his morning commute. I told him what I did, and he did some calculations. He said, oh, you're probably fine, but don't fall asleep, like check every half hour and watch this guy. And his name is Steve Finney, like look him up on YouTube. And I thought, oh, okay, I can do that. And so the first video I found was a lecture by him, a 1 hour lecture, and then there was followed by another hour lecture. It says keto right in the title. And I was like strict against keto because when my son was diagnosed, they told me that's dangerous. He needs carbs to grow. He was 8 when he was diagnosed. He needs carbs for his brain to develop. He will resent me when I put him on keto, like all that. They really scared me straight of putting him on keto. And I thought keto was just like unhealthy. And so I didn't see keto in that title. I watched the video, and it all started making sense. It clicked. Like, okay, this is my problem. This is why I'm not losing weight. This is why I'm feeling so sick. And maybe I should give this a try. And so my sugars never dropped too low. Next morning, I get up and tell my husband, I'm doing keto. That's it. That's going to help me get better. And well, he said, well, no, don't talk to your doctor first. And I said, like, crossing your fingers behind my back. Yeah, I will talk to her first. And the good thing was, when I talked to her, like with a stack of papers, was that she said, I'm all for it. Like, give it a try. And the changes were just amazing.
So type 1 diabetes, your son has that?
Yes.
Type 1.
Yeah, he has type 1. He was diagnosed when he was 8.
My sister was diagnosed at age 4, but they're now doing pancreatic cell transplants into livers. And a new drug is coming out to prevent cell tissue rejection. My sense is that the plants, the goitrogens, and the inflammation cause the damage to the pancreas, to your son, my sister. And ultimately, if we can get our moms to go carnivore and then switch their babies from breast milk to meat off the bone, we likely will begin to reduce the incidence of type 1 diabetes and not need these treatments or expensive drugs. And it's the goitrogens. These are plant toxins that basically plants or live organisms don't want to be eaten. And so tell me a little bit about your coaching certifications and how that has changed your life and your purpose.
So when I lived through the changes, I knew I had to talk about this. And I found a Facebook group, and I was very active on social media. And people were obviously put off because they don't want to be told, you can't have that cake. And then they gave me compliments like, oh, are you a doctor or what? I mean, obviously, like, they meant it sarcastically. But I thought, actually, like, if I get some credentials, I might help people better. So the first thing I started was going to these low-carb conferences, Low Carb USA. And there I learned about metabolic health practitioner. And then I thought, that's a great start. And they have a fantastic program. So shout out to Pam and Doug. They are doing excellent. And the Nutrition Network, they do the courses. So I started getting certified. And then as soon as I was certified, I thought, okay, now I'm ready to coach. And that's what I did. I never have a lot of clients because I do this on the side. I have my day job and then I have my coaching thing. But it is so much fun to be able to help people actually get better. It's so fulfilling. And when I talk to people, like, okay, how do you sleep at night? Help these people to save their lives. And I feel that now sometimes too. When I help someone, it's I can't cross it, like, check it off my mind at night and then just go to sleep. It's just amazing. So yeah, coaching has become a big part of my life now.
Do you find you can't turn your brain off with the stories you've learned and how it's helped you, and you just kind of like feel like you just got to shout it out from the top of the mountaintops?
Yes, I'm a very mellow person. Like, I'm almost, I would describe myself as an introvert, but when it comes to talking about keto, I just can never shut up. And my form of keto, I say keto, but it's actually like mostly carnivore. I guess most people do better like easing into this. They start with keto and then they will gradually or naturally move toward ketovore and carnivore.
What about fasting? Do you talk much about fasting? Do you think it's something that we've just sort of not utilized, but it might be one of the most amazing things that everyone could utilize, no matter what diet they're currently on?
So when I went into the space, I thought fasting was like the stupidest idea. I thought, like, who would on purpose starve themselves? Like where's the fun in that, and where's the benefit in that? I didn't think, like, other than eating less, which I'm kind of iffy on, moving more, eating less. Like, oh, that was no go for me. And so the first 7 months on keto, I dropped my insulin requirements from 50 units to almost 0, and then they went up again. And then I thought, oh, well, it doesn't matter because now my A1C is 5.2, so I'm good. And then someone told me on social media, no, you're not good. You're on insulin. Like, that's bad. And I said, oh, what do I do? So I didn't meet him in person, but I did find Dr. Jason Fung. And he had this lecture, 6 hours, 6 parts, and talks about how fasting actually helps. 6 hours, I would say, like, every minute worth in gold to watch that lecture. And then I understood, okay, no, I actually need to fast. I didn't need to, like, fast days, but 16/8. So I started that. And at that time, 7 months in, I was already fat adapted. So I wasn't hungry. I didn't snack. I just had my 2 meals and actually, like, a little, not a night snack, but something I had just before sleep, a apple cider vinegar drink. And within 2 weeks of doing that, I was off insulin. And I've been off insulin since. So that has been like a major shift from an fasting insulin of over 60 to now around 10-ish. There's still room for improvement, but it's a very different story. Fasting is like keto carnivore on steroids, basically. You add a completely extra layer that's very powerful. So I'm all for fasting, but I would never start someone like, okay, you're going to eat keto now and you're going to also time restrict. I think people have to also ease into this and be ready, especially not being hungry.
It's such a radical, because what's the standard dietary recommendations? And I don't know if you guys have a pyramid in Canada. What's the pyramid in Canada?
It is obviously everyone adopts the American system. So we have also the same plate thing where half of the plate is, 3/4 of the plate is carbohydrates and the last quarter is lean meats. And so it's basically starving people and not giving them the nutrients they need. And I just lost my train of thought. So we talked about the fasting issue. Oh yeah, the meals, 5 to 6 times a day. You eat every 2 to 3 hours to make sure that your insulin stays up. It's the most horrible advice.
So, it's kind of, if you're doing a snack, it should be steak with salt, and dry age is always the best, and it lasts forever. Pretty amazing. I've got, our meetup we had 2 months ago, I still have dry aging steak that looks like a hockey puck now. I just slice it up and chew it. And my nephew Will brought some homemade jerky, which was pretty much like leather, but you chew on it, and it's just like, it's kind of must be what our ancient brothers and sisters did, 50,000 years ago. They weren't carrying lettuce in a satchel, right? They were the loin of the lamb, right? It must be that. And
that's
so
your protein bar right there.
It's kind of interesting because we either eat animals or plants. And I'm working to get the concepts and ideas that we don't eat protein, we don't eat sugars, we don't eat fat. Technically, we eat animals or plants.
Yeah.
And what toxins come from this piece of ribeye?
Well, not the glyphosates, not all that.
Right? Like nothing, right? No toxins.
No oxalates.
Oxalates, phytates is like, and Papa is saying his 1-year-old granddaughter loves to eat beets.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Well, I mean, the food pyramid is. I actually did a conversation about the food pyramid, trying to sort of summarize all the healthy, my plates, and all this stuff. It was like complicated, and I think about our world in keto carnivore. I mean, really, it's like so simple.
It is simple. I don't have to prepare vegetables. I don't have to cook them. I don't have to worry about them. I have a freezer full of beef. I just grab something from the freezer, put it on the stove, and it's done. I pre-cook beef patties. I'm kind of weird that way, maybe. Hamburger is my favorite cut. I find beef patties so satiating, even more so than dried beef. So I use my Ninja. We use thin cuts of beef, put them in layers in there with some salt, and then dehydrate them for 6 hours. They are great travel food also. When I went to Vegas, I actually brought some back because they had some pretty decent food there too. But that's always great to have. I can put it in my purse, in a Ziploc, not obviously, but that's great food to chew on.
It is great, and dry age it all yourself. You can buy all the packaged stuff, but you can also just dry age it right in your refrigerator, and then put it in a baggie or whatever, a paper bag even, and roll it up and have it as a snack later, because it amazingly, and the fattier the better, but it amazingly doesn't ferment, doesn't mold, does it?
I put mine in the freezer, and when I get ready to go, I take it out. Mold, I would probably say in 7-8 days. I would be iffy about eating it then.
Well, mine is 60 days in the dry age, just a refrigerator open to the air, salted. Remember, what did we do to preserve meat in our ancient times? Salt.
Yes.
And so in actuality, we're still afraid of the thing that actually, I mean, molds. Think about cheeses and kefirs and things, which mold, bacteria and yeast grow on it, but in amounts and types that are least pathologic. And ultimately the fat, again, dry aging has some mold and sugars on it, but it is like not pathologic like other things. And it's fine. Again, I've been chewing on my dry age stuff that's 60 days dry aging. I don't freeze. I just cut it up and share it.
I have a memory when I was a kid, we went to Spain and we bought a huge piece of bacon, not bacon, but like, not sure of the name in English. And we were there for 6 weeks and we just kept cutting away on it. Like every time one of the kids was hungry, my mom took a knife and cut off some of that bacon. And it was so good. Yeah, that one wasn't refrigerated and actually was in Spain. It was in the summer. It was in the car. That never went bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it truly, all this stuff about, well, what about mold and yeast? Well, again, on meat, dry, it's like grapes, salted up is the very best. And I let one sit in my refrigerator, still with the plastic wrap that someone gifted to me. After 2 months, the bag had expanded. How come?
What happened?
Fermentation.
Right. That's everyone's bloating and gas and smelly poop and burps. But and the beef wasn't, I mean, maybe I could have salted it and done something, but I tossed it because 99% I take it out of the freezer. I take it out of the wrapper and I just let it dry age in the refrigerator, salted for weeks, months. That's what our ancient food was. Dry aging in the wind and the sun, salted.
We have some questions.
Yeah,
Aria?
let's take this one first. Cookie Carter asks, my 19-year-old daughter, type 1 on meat-based diet with no rice, grains, etc., 2-3 meals. After meal, blood sugar high, feeling tired. Her doctor can't figure out why she's eating low-carb veg. Your thoughts, please. I asked also Cookie if she's eating like lean meat or fatty meats, but that's the question. Who would like to?
Sounds like would be a good thing to discuss with one of our coaches.
Sounds like an amazing question to go over with the coaches. Yeah. Is that the answer?
Yeah. Dr. Kiltz, do you have any?
2-3 meals after meal, but sure, high, feeling tired. Doctor can't figure out why is she. Your thought. Well, okay, so low carb veg is plants. Remember, plants and low fat is deadly for humans, fermenting. And take a nap when you're tired, but basically when you eat lean meat and plants, I don't care. This low carb veg is all BS. Carbohydrates are sugars that are on both in animal meat and in plant cells. And basically, most keto carnivores eat a low fat diet because most of their meat has been already cut off of all the fat and it's cooked, rendered the fat, and you're fermenting. That's what's going on. And, all these things, low carb veg, there's no such thing as that. That's the myth. Potatoes and kale are both made of the same thing, sugar. And they contain amino acids and fatty acids, but the plant fats are deadly for humans. But it's fermentation. And 2 to 3 meals? Yeah. 19-year-old is fermenting.
Yeah.
And when we say low carb veg, again, what does that tell any of us what they really eat? Does it?
No.
It doesn't. Right? I'm a carnivore. Does that tell you what I eat?
Meat.
Well, but it doesn't really.
No.
It doesn't. Because we claim, whatever we say, I eat this type, but we even claim that a carnivore could eat some plants, right? And still be a carnivore. Right? Would you agree?
Chicken only.
I would agree. It's the definition of hypercarnivore is up to 30% plants, kind of.
Right. And ultimately, if you eat chicken, fish, and turkey and filet mignon and you cook it, where's the fat? Yeah. There isn't any. Mm-hmm. When you fry anything in grease, it's cooked at a higher temperature, all the fat melts away. In boiling, all the fat boils away. In baking, all the fat is melted away. That's the crazy story. Crazy.
And the fat is what gives the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Fat suppresses the microbes in the mouth, the esophagus, and the gut. And it goes through the lymphatics, through the chylomicrons, and provides every cell with every building block of your body and energy. And that's the crazy part of the story. When we use the word fat, I mean, what is saturated fat? I mean, isn't that a scientism? None of us really can say what that really is because it's theoretical science. Mm-hmm. It's not truth. You either eat an animal or a plant. Is there fat on a plant? There is none. It's oil. Fat comes from an animal, and we know what that looks like on our body, right? It's that pinchy stuff we all have, right? And that's bad for us. Explain to me how visceral fat is harmful for us. how the fat your body made and deposited in your body is pathologic.
The visceral fat around the organs is inflammatory. So it's not just fat. It's not just stored energy. It is inflammatory. It's like an organ.
Why would your body make something harmful for you ever?
That is kind of like an interesting question, because the body makes glucose, but if it makes too much, it's not good. And I would say the same for visceral fat. If it's too much, it's not
Your
good.
body never makes too much sugar. You consume too much sugar. All the sugar you measure that's abnormally high is dietary sugars. Insulin is a digestive enzyme, not a sugar modulating molecule. It doesn't balance your sugars. It takes digestive sugars in the liver and makes fat. Because if a bear doesn't gain 1,000 pounds, you think that 1,000 pounds is only subcutaneous fat? It's visceral fat. Because the visceral fat is like the suction directly to every cell. So what if our science is actually wrong? That's
What
the question.
if insulin resistance is not pathologic, but a physiological response to whatever we have to be there?
Well, the question is, so insulin resistance is actually liver damage. Because what's happening, because the way we live, sugar levels are always elevated. Well, if sugar levels are elevated, what should your insulin be?
It should be elevated.
Right.
To deal with the sugar.
What's the purpose of insulin?
I had a talk with Dr. Adrian Tsunemoto about that. And he said, if you say insulin is just to lower sugar, then it's like kind of like saying the skin only has one job. It has tons of jobs. But one of them is to lower sugar, obviously.
It is not to lower sugar.
It's not.
Insulin's job has one job. And it does it so well, we think it's pathologic. We made dissections and drugs and diets. The job of insulin is to make fat in the liver. That is it. But that's really a difficult concept for us because we've got complicated metabolic pathways that we think are true, but they're not. And most people have not heard of hepatogenous diabetes. A human being, look up hepatogenous diabetes. It's when you're skinny, no fat or very little fat on your body, but your insulin and glucose is elevated. That's a cirrhotic. Cirrhosis causes elevated insulin and glucose, but you're skinny and you're going to die. Except the modern world has drugs and diets and doctors, and they have liver transplants. Is it better to be fat or skinny in a famine?
Obviously, you want to be equipped for a famine, so you want some fat on your body.
So is our getting fat, including the deposition of visceral fat, pathologic or biologic?
Honestly, I have not looked at it that way. I looked at the fats of being subcutaneous fat as great for fat storage, not even pathologic, because it's what the body does.
Well, it makes visceral fat, doesn't it?
It does.
Why would it be pathologic? Remember, if you eat a high plant-based diet, your fat is de novo lipogenesis in the liver via insulin, and it first stores it in the liver and then stores it to the viscera, then stores it to the subcutaneous and the rest of your body, including intramuscular fat, which is not pathologic, it's biologic. But again, we don't talk about this because we talk about the hard science of metabolic pathways as if they're true. They're theoretical. That's why this story here is so simple. We don't need a scientific experiment or another blind study, because we know the truth through the biblical stories and the stories of Stephenson and Salzburg and many others who have shared the simplicity of eat carnivore, fatty, rare, raw, fatty meat, and have faith in God and be loving, kind, and generous to your brothers and sisters. Isn't that simple?
It is that simple.
It is. And so how many days can a fat person not eat anything and not drink anything, actually?
Not sure about not drinking. I know that it's actually dry fasting can be done. But this one person didn't eat over a year.
That's correct.
And
Did they
lost
die?
a lot of, no, they didn't.
Well, how about a bear that hibernates for 6 months, or other animals that hibernate, migrate, gestate, or nest for months to years? What's their fuel? Only one
Their
thing.
body fat.
Yes. So why does it take us? Why is it so hard to lose weight?
Insulin is high.
No, it is not.
No, I mean, when insulin is high, it's hard. to lose
No.
weight.
Insulin does not block fat utilization for energy. Our input of fuel in the mouth is greater than our burning of calories. Ultimately, the simplicity of the story is critical. A bear hibernates 6 months and gestates 4 baby bears, doesn't drink, eat, piss, or poop, and they lose no muscle mass or bone mass. What do they lose?
Body fat.
Yes. And if you don't eat for 6 months, what do you lose?
Body fat.
That's it. You don't lose muscle mass. You lose intramuscular fat, but you think you're losing muscle. You do once you're cachectic, sarcopenic, and cirrhotic, but it's not the muscle cells you lose, it's the fat. And we are fat phobic even as carnivores.
I actually heard that in Vegas.
I see many of my carnivore friends overcooking their meat. The fat is gone and they cut it all off and they leave it on their plate. Is it better to eat fat or lean meat?
The thing is, I think maybe this is why hamburger is my favorite cut, because I don't see the fat. I don't like the squishy
Well,
bite to it.
but how do you cook your meat?
I fry it in the frying pan.
Where does the fat go? It's gone.
Some of it goes in.
All
Some
of
of
it.
it goes in the pan.
Almost, yeah, but it's rendered fat now. It's not the same as intact adipose tissue. You glycate it, you burn it, you damage the molecular structure of the systems. And ultimately, this is the problem. Most meat you eat already is leaner than you know, because when you killed the beast, you ate the raw, fatty meat, the blood, the organs. Again, we're all, even Kiltz Mighty Tribe certificate or coaching certificate, we're making a story out of simplicity. It's better to eat fat because you do not utilize muscle proteins. They come from adipocytes, the glycocalyx, which is radical concepts and ideas that the Liver King, right? And its simplicity. Obesity is not a disease. You can go carnivore fasting for 2 weeks. You clear the gut of the poisons and the microbes. You will go like, oh shit, I've never felt better in my life. Right?
Absolutely.
And we love all the metabolic pathway stupid shit. But do you think the science has really made this complicated? And really, it's dumb, stupid, simple stuff. I mean, Ken Berry's out on the farm raising sheep and eating primarily just the meat. As he's, we've made it complicated, but basically, is every single disorder, the 17,000. How many codes are there, Dr. Nelson, for diseases?
I don't even know the number.
There's not only the 17,000 basic disorders, but then there are all the added codes that make it like, I don't know. But are you a doctor, Roxana? Do you have a degree in medicine? No. Are you a healthcare doctor? I mean, really, has the science and healthcare system made us healthier or sicker?
So from what I see, the healthcare system is more set up to treat than like the symptoms and not the root cause.
So since science and medicine has gotten involved in our health systems, are we getting healthier or sicker?
We're getting sicker. I mean, the obesity rate is going through the roof.
Right, but why is obesity getting higher? Is it pathologic or biologic?
I would say it is the poisoned food supply.
Well, but no, it's the food supply is not poison. It's biology to get fat because the brain says, freaking shit. With all of this stuff going on in the world, and it's a perpetual fall. And so when the feast of the fall was available, what did you do?
You would eat.
You ate.
Yes. And so are we not living in a perpetual fall? And you and I have just been plopped down in like August, September, and all the fruits and vegetables are there for our taking. And if you don't eat them when December, January, February comes, you're freaking fertilizer.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're now available 24/7. And
right. So
not only that, but they're also much sweeter.
Right, but let's say, I mean, is that pathologic or biologic that you want to eat so much?
That's biology. We just talked about that. Also,
there's nothing wrong with us overeating. It's biology. The problem is we're plopped down in a world of constant fall, not constant spring. Yeah. The spring is we're on a hunt. We're going after the big animals. But by time August, September shows up, we're basically, the stores are full of all the ripe fruits and vegetables. And if you don't eat them, you're an idiot. And what are the odds of big bombs going to be dropped somewhere in this world? They're already dropping them, are they not? Mm-hmm. How many people are leaving the war zones for safety, but there's no food? And then the world is shipping grass and grains to them, and they're getting more diseased, and we're claiming it's some scientific, complicated story. It's biology. Rare to raw.
Questions?
Fatty meat. Let's go at it.
All right. Let's see. There's only a couple of, I think I lost some questions. I'm sorry. I seem to have lost some questions. Jennifer Edwards asks, what do you typically eat in a day? That's for Roxana.
That's for me. Yeah. I typically grab something from my freezer and fry it. I'm almost afraid now to say that I fry it, but no, I'm not a fat phobic, but I don't like the squishy feel of it. So I have either steak or hamburger patties. I do make chicken wings that I then freeze, and I'm just very. I'm not a great cook, so I like it very simple, and whatever is left over, if there's leftover, I put it in the freezer and then just warm it up.
I'm a bad cook. I don't cook. Again, I hunt, kill, and eat, and ultimately, this is still not enough fat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we're meant to eat the fatty meat. That's it. And we don't do it. Carnivores cook their meat, the fat is rendered and gone. That is a simple story. And remember, the fat is gone. What are you left with? Sugars and amino acids, which both of those go to the liver and require what molecule? Insulin.
I did realize one switch though. When I was in Vegas, the steak they served that had fat, visible fat, and I'm usually not drawn to that. And this time it didn't bother me. So I think I'm kind of like, no, I'm not switching camps, but I'm less bothered by visible fat. And
well, aren't we bothered by fat? You just said it. I'm less bothered by visible fat. So when we see fat people, what do we think? Even in the carnivore world,
they eat too much. They eat too much.
So
fat.
you judge them. We've now compared, criticized, or complained.
No, not me.
No.
I know.
No. But you said I'm less. I'm less. You didn't say I'm not fat phobic. We're all this way, by the way. We all look at fat because we've been implanted with fat is bad. But in the ancient world, if you're not fat, and when it comes to like December, January, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And so
I meant like in the steak itself.
Right, but when we use the words, my thought is we still judge fat people. It's the biggest problem in modern medicine.
I think that is a problem. I think maybe my perception is a little different because I came from over 300 pounds and I kind of intrinsically know it wasn't my fault. It's so when I see someone who's overweight, and I'm still overweight, when I see someone who is very obese or overweight, I do. Oh, thanks for showing the picture. Yeah, I don't see them as weak people. As I don't judge them, but most people actually do. The thing that
she looks great, right?
She's beautiful. Amazing. And I think that this is the most important thing. But how do you feel on carnivore, even though you're not a BMI of 22?
I feel more energetic. I feel like I have purpose. I feel I can just go out into the world and do things. I can go to Vegas, to Cosi, and travel. I'm not bound to my home. I came from a place where I had like no energy. And when I mean no energy, like I had plenty of stored energy on my body, but I meant like I had no drive, no motivation to do things. And that has completely changed. Now I want to do things. And I do things. I go out. I do help people. And what I've never imagined was actually standing up in front of a crowd of people and talking to them. At COSI last year, I was one of the citizen science speakers. That's just amazing.
Isn't it amazing? Because I feel like I was, I've been kind of pushed into it over the years because I have to give talks, but I'm always nervous. I'm still a little nervous even when I do these things, but the nervousness is like, oh, keep going. It's sort of like we're in a group of lions that want to help all of our lion brothers and sisters. Even if you're a plant eater, we want to be like, hey, how can we want to pull everyone up. Is that kind of what you feel?
It is I wouldn't say nerve-wracking. Nervous, yes. But on the other hand, when I'm there in front of these people and speaking, I forget everything around me and I'm just telling my story. So it's something I could not have done 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I would have been a sweaty mess. Actually, just like going to the sink, I would be drenched in sweat. And that has completely changed.
And I will tell those of us that have higher BMIs, you're beautiful and amazing. Your body is perfect, but your gut, the bucket in the belly, is poisoning you. That's all it is. Your visceral fat is no more poison than your muscles, your brain, or your gut. Once you clear the gut of inflammation, your visceral fat goes like, oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Visceral fat is not pathologic. Neither is cholesterol, is it?
No.
It's not. That's why we're here to inspire our brothers and sisters, no matter what size you are. I don't care. You're a beautiful, amazing human being. Beautiful, amazing human being. That's it.
We'll do this last question. Let's see. Roxana, will you be at Low Carb for Better Health in September? Hope to see you there. Betsy.
I will be. I already have my ticket. I already have my room booked. And I'm going to be one of the volunteers there and taking lots and lots of pictures.
Awesome.
Low plant, high animal diet. Fat. Really, fat is the most important thing that we're missing in the story. That's why many carnivores and ketovores aren't healing. They don't do enough raw fat and they eat too frequently. Next question for you, Roxana.
Oh, well, that's just a comment.
What is it?
See.
Not everyone's reading while they're driving. They're listening.
Oh, okay. So good. I agree. I never felt better.
Or walking, right? Or walking.
This was a comment for MJ.
Oh, okay. I love that I can now eat to satiety instead of restricting and feeling hungry all the time. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Roxana,
it's like also one of the things I never thought satiety was I never experienced satiety until I started this way of eating. I experienced fullness. I experienced being nauseous and not being able to eat anymore because I was like up to here. But the satiety that comes from just eating the right food, that I didn't experience until I started this way of eating. Yeah.
what's my answer, Dr. Nelson?
A fistful.
A fistful. That's about it. That's it. Why do I need more? Don't. And this idea of you're under eating is all BS. Eat till you're full, move on. That's it. And again, if you're about to go through a famine, like there's something going to happen, eat up, by the way. Get fat.
Yeah.
Get fat.
Okay. Oh, we got a few more. So what about this question? Catherine Byrne, thoughts on butter bites? Should they be limited? Anyone?
Roxanne?
I do raw butter. I do raw butter, cold, frozen, salted, or refrigerated. What do you do, Roxanne?
I think it depends. If I open the fridge and I see butter and I think, oh, maybe I should bite into it, I think I really should because then I need it. But I wouldn't add like extra butter, especially to drinks or just to snack on. But if I feel like I need butter, yeah, by all means, have butter.
Let's see. I have a friend that, let me get that again. I have a friend that is struggling with mental issues. He's searching for help. He's asking about carnivore. He's talking about blood type. Why do we have different blood types? I want to help. Why do we have different blood types? That's a good question.
I would really recommend going and looking up Metabolic Mind. Watching the cholesterol code. It's going to be on Amazon, mid-April. It's going to be on Amazon. Or go to find a screening. It can do wonders for mental health.
What causes mental health problems?
I, in my uneducated opinion, would say that it is not a disbalance in the brain, but it's the brain not getting good nutrition. If the brain has good nutrition, whatever you put into the brain, then it will be healthier.
And now the question is, what is good nutrition?
Oh, the good fuel. Well,
Body meat.
proper human diet.
It's inflammation is the cause of all disease. And depression, anxiety, suicidality, criminality, and is all inflammation. And basically, it's a plant protein, low animal fat diet and microbes fermenting in our gut. Isn't that simple? Inflammation. It's not. I don't think it's mitochondrial lack of making ATP. It's the poisons that are made by the microbes in the plants that are damaging the post-translational modification of proteins. And the majority of them are glycosylated. And none of us are talking about that very well, I don't think. But it is helped by a keto and or carnivore. Hit another one, Alia. He can't have it. He cannot have it.
He doesn't hold on. He doesn't deserve it. The first time in over 2 years, I think.
Oh my God. Okay. He gets a hat anyway. Maybe we'll get him
hats.
Instantly, I got one.
Oh my God.
Tommy Tucker, congratulations. Email me, alia@drkiltz.com with your address, and we will send you a Kiltz Mighty Tribe hat.
Right. Well, any other questions for Roxana? We got a couple of more minutes. Don't hit it too quickly. We got Roxana here. We got to get the most out of her. She's amazing.
She can come back again. Let's see. Here we go.
I highly recommend this documentary, The Cholesterol Code. If you have mental health issues, watch it.
April 6th and April 22. Look and meet up. Dr. Kiltz, KiltzMeetup.com. 82-year-old male, stage 4 lung cancer, no treatment. The doctor says, eat anything to gain strength. Would you suggest this for quality of life? Anything versus animal fats, proteins? Eat the fatty meat.
I saw that presentation at Low Carb USA about a long-term GBM survivor. That's the brain cancer that's really aggressive. And she, going on her protocol, which wasn't typical keto, but it involved other things, had her NED, no evidence of disease, within, I think, 8 months or so, where before surgery and radiation left her with a speech impediment. So there is something to it. I'm not going to say this is gonna be an all cure for everyone, but I would definitely give this a try.
Sophia Clemens in Hungary, great, but really a fatty meat fasting, fatty. So this idea you need protein. Are there sugars in the meat we eat? Glycocalyx. And so this idea of essentials is all BS, but fatty meat is the healthiest thing to eat. And fasting will help reduce the inflammation in the gut. Go from there. What's the question?
It says, what's the best source for studying the glycocalyx? And I know you have a bunch of books, but what about your book, Kiltz's Keto is Carnivore?
Well, of course, all of them. But essentially, there's the sugar code. There's glycobiology introduction. And the one you can get for free online at Cold Springs Harbor Laboratory Press is Essentials of Glycobiology. And and post-translational modification of all proteins is the most important thing that we don't talk about. And hepatitis, diabetes. So, but yeah, we'll put those listed on our Kiltz Health and drkiltz.com. Ali, I think they're there, but just take a look.
You gotta go.
Yep, gotta go. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.